Are you struggling to renew your Medicaid coverage online in New York? Well, look, healthcare administration can be incredibly stressful, and honestly, dealing with a mountain of paperwork is the last thing anyone wants to do. But in today's explainer, we're breaking down each step so that you can secure your health coverage with confidence and ease. If you're finding this tough, you are absolutely not alone. It can kind of feel like navigating a maze blindfolded, right? But we're going to break this whole thing down step by step. Because the absolute biggest threat to your coverage, it isn't actually whether you qualify financially. It's what the state calls procedural terminations. Basically, that means losing your health care just because a form was missed, sent to the wrong address, or filled out wrong. And we're going to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Okay, let's dive into this. We'll start with an introduction to Medicaid renewal. Then look at eligibility criteria, preparing for renewal, the step-by-step online renewal process, what to expect after you submit, and finally, some common questions.
All right, Part 1, Introduction to Medicaid Renewal.
Did you know over 7 million New Yorkers rely on Medicaid for their essential health care? That is a massive number. But here's the catch. Every single year, the state requires a recertification to confirm you still meet the income and household rules. And missing a simple deadline or just losing a piece of mail is the most common reason people unnecessarily lose this life-saving coverage. A single month without it can literally mean thousands of dollars in out-of-pocket medical bills, especially for long-term care. So staying on top of this process is absolutely critical.
Moving right along to Section 2, Eligibility Criteria.
Now, what's really interesting here is how New York splits applicants into two totally distinct pathways, and this completely changes how your renewal is evaluated. So for one group, we have MAGI, which stands for Modified Adjusted Gross Income. This is basically for most adults under 65, pregnant women, and families. It's based primarily on your tax return, and crucially, there's no asset test. Then for the other group, there is non-MAGI. This pathway covers seniors 65 and older, folks with disabilities, and anyone needing long-term nursing home care. This evaluation is much more detailed because it includes strict income tests and a very thorough review of your assets.
Let's walk through these newly updated 2026 financial thresholds. These numbers are super important because they dictate your eligibility for both community and nursing home care. For a single individual, the 2026 monthly income limit sits at $1,836, with an asset cap of $33,038. Now, if you're married and both of you are applying, that combined monthly income limit bumps up to $2,489 with an asset limit of $44,796. Managing your resources to stay within these exact limits is vital for our non-MAGI applicants.
Okay, Section 3, Preparing for Renewal.
Listen, before you even touch a keyboard, you're going to want to have a few things ready to go. Think of it as a checklist. You need proof of identity and citizenship, like an ID or a passport. You'll need social security numbers for everyone applying. Have proof of New York residency on hand. A recent utility bill or a lease works perfectly. You also need income verification, so grab those pay stubs or tax returns. And for our non-MAGI folks, you'll need detailed bank statements. Trust me, having this stuff organized right at your desk makes the online process an absolute breeze. Now, before we move on, we really need to clarify a complex term for our non-MAGI applicants, the look-back period. So what is this? Well, if you're applying for nursing home coverage, the state actually looks back 60 months at your financial history. For community care, it's 30 months. They're basically checking for any past asset transfers, like giving away money or property, that might trigger a penalty period where you'd be ineligible. So if you've made any large financial transfers in the past, be fully prepared to explain them with solid documentation.
All right, here we go. Section 4, the step-by-step online renewal process.
Depending on your pathway, you'll actually use one of two totally different digital portals. If you're in the MAGI category, you're going to use the New York State of Health Marketplace portal. Pretty straightforward. But if you're non-MAGI, meaning aged, blind, or disabled, and you live in New York City, you'll use the Department of Health's Access HRA system. Meanwhile, upstate non-MAGI residents will generally go through their local county Department of Social Services.
Let's walk through that highly integrated MAGI workflow first. Step 1, you just log into your New York State of Health account. Step 2, click the Update Application button right there on your dashboard. Step 3 is verifying the pre-populated income and household data. And because this system is super automated and actually checks state databases, real-time eligibility determinations are often possible right then and there. Finally, Step 4, submit the form and make absolutely sure you save your confirmation number.
Now for non-MAGI applicants in New York City, the workflow is slightly different. Step 1, you'll create or log in to the Access HRA portal. Step 2, complete the online DOH 4220 form, which asks some detailed questions about your resources. Step 3, electronically sign and submit your responses. And Step 4, use the mobile app to upload your required proofs. Also, just a quick note, if you live upstate or on Long Island, you'll submit through your county office and use the NY Doc Submit app for your documents. Unless you're in Nassau or Orange counties, they actually still rely on paper packets.
And that actually leads us to a massive trap you need to avoid. Let's call it a pitfall alert. If you use Access HRA, you literally cannot upload your attachment documents directly on the main website. No way. You absolutely must use the separate Access HRA mobile app. We see so many applications stall out just because folks didn't realize they had to switch over to their phones to submit their bank statements and IDs. Do not let this procedural trap delay your coverage.
Okay, Section 5. What to expect after submission.
So, the crucial point here is meeting your deadlines. You'll get your renewal notice about 45 to 90 days before your coverage expires. You've got to return your paperwork by the 10th of the month before your coverage end date. If you miss it, your coverage ends. But I want to reassure you, New York offers a 90-day reconsideration window. If you do happen to miss the deadline, but you submit your late renewal within 90 days after your coverage ends, they can actually reinstate your coverage retroactively as long as you're still eligible.
You might also hear this term floating around, ex parte renewal. This is a fantastic new automation feature from the state's Medicaid modernization efforts. Basically, it's an administrative renewal where the state automatically verifies your eligibility using back-end tax and employment data, without you having to lift a finger. Pretty cool, right? But here's my warning to you. Never just assume this worked. Always check your mail anyway, just in case the automated data match fails and they still end up needing your paperwork.
And finally, Section 6, frequently asked questions.
Let's do a rapid-fire FAQ to keep you empowered and informed. First up, if your income or household changes, you gotta update the state within 10 days. Second, if you get denied procedurally or you just disagree with a decision, you have the right to request a fair hearing, but you gotta do so within 60 days. Third, just a reminder that most upstate and Long Island residents use the NY Doc Submit app for documents, but Nassau and Orange counties still require paper. And finally, yes, students can absolutely qualify for Medicaid based on their income.
Well, we've definitely covered a lot of ground today, so I have to ask, do you have your paperwork ready to lock in your 2026 coverage? I strongly encourage you to take immediate action. Mark your calendar for your renewal month, and please don't let a simple paperwork error cost you your health care. Let us know your experiences or drop any questions you have down in the comments.
This explainer provides general information and is not a substitute for professional advice. For personal assistance, contact a local health office, legal advisor, or the official Medicaid office in New York.